Hello and welcome to a new video series on Tripsichore technique. How I understand them, how I practice them, how I embody them, and how I teach them. This is the first in a series of videos. I don't know how long or how many I'm going to make, but definitely the first three. Why the first three videos? Because I believe there are three foundations to Tripsichore technique. Now, this is my personal take on it and how I have, this is how I learned to do what I used to do and kind of what I still do when I do a Tripsichore practice. You may be practicing with Edward Clark or another teacher, and they may have a different completely take on it, and that is valid. This is mine. I just wanted to be clear on that. So, the three foundations, and this is going to be the first one, and this is about the Ujjayi breath. All right, I take that big inhale because there's a lot of theories in the yoga world about the Ujjayi breath. But this is how I understand it and how I've learned it and applied it in my practice. Okay, so the Ujjayi breath is through the nose. It's inhale and exhale through the nose. It's not mouth breathing. And what we are trying to do with that breath is expand. It's about expansion on the inhale, and then on the exhale, holding on to what you expanded and just consolidating it or reinforcing it in the body. We're going to talk about the spine here, because what we're trying to do is elongate the spine. You can't elongate it with the breath, especially if you're a grown person, or regardless if you're not. The breath is not going to make you grow, but is it a lengthening up and a sensation more than anything else of growing taller with the breath. Now, how that works and plays out physically is, I'll roll my shirt up here, and here, underneath the rib cage, and also at the back of the rib cage, what you're trying to do is, on the inhale, lift everything up. The pelvis stays in a centered position with this. You're not trying to, which is very common. I used to do that. You're not trying to do that. You're trying to keep the spine straight. And when I say straight, I don't mean like, the spine has its natural curve through the neck, through the thoracic, lumbar, coccyx. It has that natural curve. You are trying to keep that natural curve. You're not trying to uncurve it and make it into a straight line. Keep the natural curve, but just lift everything up from that base of the pelvis. The inhale expands and lifts, and you get that lengthening up, and it feels to me like someone's got the bun here and pulling up. That's the sensation I get. You may get something different. That is the inhale. And on the exhale, you don't collapse or relax or surrender or give in. You hold on to that. And what tends to happen, or what you're trying to happen, is a consolidation. The rib cage will close down. Why? Because that's just the anatomy. The air is leaving the lungs. So the rib cage, the lungs release, they get smaller, and as a result, the rib cage is closed down. But what you are intentionally trying to do is pull that abdomen in and up into the rib cage on the exhale to assist with maintaining the length. Here we go. Let's just try that with, let's do 3 breaths. Arms down by the side. Relax, legs relax, no tension. Everything is focused on the pelvis to the crown of the head. Here we go. Inhale. Shoulders down, exhale. Pull that stomach in and up. Inhale. And exhale. Hold, roll up the stomach here. Inhale. And exhale. It is a lot of work. I'm sweating just doing those 3 breaths. That is how we use the Ujjayi breath in the Tripsichore technique. Now, when it comes to the spine and moving through the postures in a vinyasa, we are intentionally trying to maintain that. We're not deliberately rounding or back bending or contracting in the back. We are trying to keep that length and expansion always through every inhale and every exhale. Have that in mind. Keep that in your focus. And let's do 1 round of sun salutations with holding that in your mind. Expansion on the inhale, holding through the exhale and consolidating, getting that tummy in and up. The rib cage closes down, but don't let that collapse the whole body. Here we go. Prayer. Exhale here. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, prayer. Inhale, pelvis forward into the high arch. Exhale, pelvis back into the forward bend. Hold the straightness and expansion of that spine. Inhale through the Utkatasana, right leg back, short high lunge. And exhale, push it back to a runner's lunge. Inhale, plank. Get that spine straight again, expand. Hold on to the expansion, Utkatasana on the floor. Don't collapse. Inhale to the up dog. This is definitely going to be a bend, but don't crank. Exhale to the down dog. Get the spine back in line. Inhale, step the right foot forward into the short high lunge. Pelvis forward, straighten out that spine, expand, expand. Hold on to the expansion, push the hips back and up to step the back left leg into the forward bend. Inhale, high arch. Let's link to the other side and breathe it with me. Left leg. Prayer. Good job. I hope that explains the Ujjayi breath and gives you a little bit more clarity about the foundations of the Tripsichore technique. See you in the next video.